Today I'm testing out a product I found while going down the Amazon rabbit hole, and that is this, which is a $200 pen. This is supposedly an inkless pen that uses no lead, no ink. It has an alloy tip that basically will last forever, but $200? I'm not sure about that. So I ended up finding an alternative out there. This one was $5.50, we'll say $6. This is also an inkless pen that uses an alloy tip, and it also supposedly lasts forever. So let's compare the $6 versus the $200 inkless pens. Let's first take a look back at the unboxing and see how that went. Now let's take a closer look at this $200 pen by Pininfarina. I believe this means pen with an ethograph point. It's a very nice packaging, so let's open it up. We have, looks like a little drawing of a concept car. Some information which I'll have to read this over. We have a nice wooden housing here for it. It's like this slides out. Here it comes. Here it is. First impression, it's a very attractive looking pen. It has, looks like a metal on the side with a kind of a wood grain. It has their logo here. Look at this tip here. There really isn't no tip. There really isn't the tip. It's just it looks like a piece of metal. I paid $199 for this. They say the design is inspired by a concept car. I guess that's what this is. It's made of aluminum. They say it uses no ink, lead, or graphite, but writes like a pencil. It is made in Italy. Now they say it works by using oxidation using an ethograph alloy tip. And that's it. That's it. That's all it is. That supposedly writes. Also, it looks like there is a groove here with a notch where you can either place the pen right here, I'm guessing, or you can place it right there as well. So it's kind of an attractive display. For 200 bucks, it better be. It does feel very well made. I would hope so for this price, but we'll have to test this out. All right, now we're going into the low end here. Let me crack these open. I paid $11 for two of these. All right, let me see. It definitely feels a lot cheaper. It's very light. There's a protective tip. Now this tip looks different. This looks like a finer tip than the other pen was. The listing refers to it as a pen in some places and a pencil in others. They say the tip is a processed alloy, but they don't really specify what that alloy is. Now, unlike the expensive pen, they do say this one can be erased. I don't think the other one can. I got this as a 2-pack for 11 bucks, so $5.50 a piece. Much cheaper than the $200 pen here. Take a look at the other one in the package here. All right, so I have a black and a silver. 200 bucks, $5.50. Both these are supposedly inkless pens. We shall see. All right, the preliminaries are out of the way. Let's try these out. I got a few different types of paper here. I got an eraser. We're gonna try it all out. All right, I'm kind of excited about this. I have no idea what to expect. First up, I've got some paper I pulled right out of my computer printer, so it's kind of generic paper. Let's see how it works on that. First up, expensive pen. I'm just gonna do some scribbling here. And, oh wow, it's very light. It's very light. Let me press down a little bit harder. I'm gonna go from light to hard. Well, you can make it darker. I'm pressing very hard though. It almost feels like a pencil that's so low it's almost going into the wood and it needs to be sharpened. It's kind of like that. The tip feels kind of dull too. I mean, you can't sharpen it, but it does feel kind of dull. Let's try the cheap model now and see how that does. Now this has a much finer tip, you can tell. Oh, this feels much more like a mechanical pencil. So I can go from light to dark. I can do that too, but I have more of a range. I can go from lighter to darker than I could with the expensive pen. First impression, the cheap one's better. That's just one test though. Let's keep going. Let me see if I can erase either one of these. This is from the expensive model. Let's see. Not very well. Here's the cheap one. Oh, it even erases better too. Wow, it's not perfect, but it does erase. The cheaper one wrote better and erased better after the first use. It's not boding very well for the expensive pen now, is it? Let me try some different paper now. Maybe this is just the wrong paper. Let's see. All right, this is a sketchbook, so if it doesn't work in here, then something's wrong. Expensive pen, take 2. I'm not an artist, by the way, so I'm just... By the way, how do you hold your pen? I guess this is kind of the way you're supposed to hold it, but I just kind of hold it up here. This is a terrible way to hold your pen, but this is the way I think you're supposed to hold it. I was never very good with penmanship, by the way, so it's probably one of the reasons for that. And I also wrote way too small. I always got marked down for writing too small in my classes. But I digress. Here we go. I'm just going to say, I'm going to write some words here. All right, let's try the cheap pen now, see how that does. Same words. I mean, neither one of these feel like a pen. It feels more like a pencil to me. I don't know why they call it a pen, although the cheap one kind of goes back and forth between calling it a pen and a pencil. I would say this is closer to a mechanical pencil, but this is even closer than this one is. And this one's $6, this is 200. But let's keep going. Expensive pen right here. From light to dark. I'm just scribbling. Now the cheaper one. Light to dark. This tip feels like a very fine tip pencil. This feels like a very dull pencil. Very dull. Like the dullest pencil you've ever used. So far, I can't say I'm jumping for joy about my $200 pen. I spent $200 on this, and this is I spent my own money on this. All right, let me keep going. I got a few more types of paper here. I'm gonna have this piece of paper with kind of a soft backing to it. Expensive pen first. When I was a kid, I used to do this one. Let me show you what I used to do as a kid. Used to write the word boy, and we would turn that into a picture of a boy by doing, connect the Y to the B once, twice, bring it back down, kind of make that into some glasses, a nose, and a mouth. That was back in the 70s when we didn't have the internet, so we had to do stuff like that. Honestly, it was weird. On this paper and this soft backing, that didn't feel so bad. Look how much darker that is than the previous ones I tried. Interesting. I'm gonna try the same thing here with the cheap pen. Over the top, over the top. That's a Jay Leno chin right there. All right, for some reason on this particular paper with that particular backing, it was a much closer result. I wouldn't say it's $200 versus $6 difference, but it was a little bit better. I would say at this point, the $200 pen is striving to be as good as the $6 pen is. I'm gonna go back to my original paper with a stack of it. Before I just had one piece on a hard clipboard, and now I've got a whole stack of it underneath there so it's softer. Let's try that. Expensive pen first. I mean, for doing some sketching, it doesn't seem too bad. It really isn't awful. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing here, to be honest. I'm just kind of doing some random sketching. Let me try this one now. I'll do the same thing. I think the $200 pen is better when you've got a soft backing, but I still feel like this is more like a pencil than this one is, and neither one of them are like a pen. Let me try erasing this one more time. Expensive pen first. Barely erased. Cheap pen next. Much closer. I mean, I did about the same number of swipes, and the cheap one's better. So I think at this point, what I need to do is enlist the help of someone who's a little bit more adept at drawing than I am to see if there's any value to either one of these. So let me do that next, and then I'll come back and give you my final conclusion. All right, I had both of my kids who are much more artistic than me try these out, and here are the notes that they gave to me. Brandon, in his Paper Mario sketch, said that the $200 model felt like a 3H mechanical pencil, and the $6 felt like a 2B. He did say the $6 model had better, darker lines, but his final assessment when both were okay. Noah said both felt like mechanical pencils, but gave the slight edge to the $6 model also because it had darker lines. One observation Noah had about the $200 one is that it felt weird, more like a dull pencil. When I asked them, they both gave the slight advantage to the $6 model. In fact, Noah didn't know which one was which and thought this was a $200 one because it was better. But in the end, I don't think either one of these qualifies as a pen. They should just call it a lead-free pencil. That's what it feels more like. I'll probably keep using them, although I'll use this one more than this one. This is probably okay for light lines for sketching, but the $6 model feels like I can use it actually for writing and more everyday use. But that's all I've got. If you've tried a pen like these, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.